We've been enjoying the economic expansion for over a decade now. We've been in this incredible bull market. Last couple of years have produced record returns for many investors in the stock market. Housing is booming, jobs are plentiful, but we know what goes up must come down. How should you prepare for an inevitable recession? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Jessica, and we talk all things money on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Is a recession coming? The answer is yes. We know what goes up must come down. We know the market is cyclical. So after a boom, a bust comes. Recession always comes. It's not the matter of if, it's the matter of when. And that's something nobody knows. It could come next year, it could come sooner, or it could come years from now. No one knows exactly when a recession comes. What we do know is the longer the expansion, the closer we are to contraction. When we are in a boom, like we are right now, and we have been for over 10 years, now is the time for us to prepare. As the old saying goes, the time to dig the well is before you're thirsty. Today, I want to share with you 5 things you can do to insulate yourself from recession, to insulate your finances, to protect yourself. These are the 5 things that all of us should be doing to protect ourselves. And the last 2 things on this list of 5 are perhaps the most important. Those 2 I don't often hear about. I don't often hear people talking about it. So be sure to watch the video to the end. Those are really, really important. Let's get started. What are the 5 things that you and I can do to protect ourselves in a recession? The number 1 thing you can do is become debt-free as quickly as possible. When recession hits, economy shrinks, people lose their jobs. When people lose their jobs, it becomes even harder to pay your bills. It becomes harder to pay your credit card bills. And a lot of times when people aren't making enough money, they are using their credit cards to supplement their income. And unfortunately, what happens is when you're putting money on your credit card to live off of every single month, your balance keeps getting higher and higher. And obviously, if you're not making enough money, you aren't paying your credit card bills completely. And this is where the magic of compound is actually working against you, because on those credit card bills, now you're being charged interest on interest. And every single month you continue to pay minimum payments, and your debt just continues to balloon. And that makes it harder and harder to get out of debt. Even when the economy recovers, you get a job, and you might even get a higher paying job, but your debt at this point has ballooned to such an extent that it becomes demotivating and it becomes more and more difficult to pay it off. So number 1 thing that you can do for yourself now is to get out of debt as quickly as possible. Second thing you can do to insulate yourself from recession is to live within your means. And you can do that starting today. What does it mean to live within your means? That means make sure that you spend less than you make. Not only spend less than you make, spend a lot less than you make, and grow that gap between your net income and your spending, and increase that savings rate. Increase it to at least 25%, if not more. Make sure you have at least 3 to 6 months of income saved in a sanity fund or an emergency fund. And 3 to 6 months is a good average for most people, but if you can save more, then save more. It's good to have as much of your time covered in case of an emergency, or in this case, in case of a recession, or if you lose your job. The longer time you're covered, the better it is for you. You know, one of our greatest strengths as human beings is our ability to adapt. We are very, very adaptable species, and that's what helps us in surviving and even thriving just about any circumstance. So we adapt very, very quickly, a great strength. But I think when it comes to finances, that very strength sometimes can become our weakness. What do I mean by that? When we start making more money, And when we are in a booming market, economy is doing well, everything is going well, we get used to spending all of that extra money. And also then we forget what a bust is like. Everything is booming, all is going well, jobs are plentiful, and we sort of, we get into this space where we think the gravy train is never going to end. And that's how we adapt very quickly. Not only we adapt very quickly to inflating our lifestyle, so the more money we make, the more we spend, we get a bigger house, bigger car, more clothes, and so on. But we forget what the previous recession was like. And that's where our ability to just adapt very quickly can sometimes work against us. So it's always good to be mindful of that. And this is the very reason why sports stars and movie stars and lottery winners end up broke, right? They become used to these millions of dollars coming their way. They inflate their lifestyle, and most of them go broke very, very quickly, despite the fact that they earned millions of dollars for so many years. So make sure that you don't fall into that trap. Third thing you want to do is diversify. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So depending on where you are in your life cycle, whether you are very close to retirement or you're mid-career, depending on what your life situation is, diversify accordingly. Put your money into various asset classes. So some of the asset classes, for example, are stocks, bonds, index funds, real estate, cash. All of those are asset classes. So make sure that you don't have all of your money in stocks, for example, or don't have all of your money in real estate. So when you diversify, if one of those asset classes, let's say, takes a bigger hit than the other, then at least your losses are mitigated. The next two things I'm going to share with you, these are the two things, as I mentioned, I don't hear them talked about enough, and I think they are perhaps the most important things to remember. So number 4, cash. Have cash on hand. I'm not talking about your 3 to 6 months sanity fund. I'm just talking about cash on hand, so that when things go on sale, that's what happens during a recession. Everything is on sale. If you do your homework, you educate yourself, you are in the know, and you know what's going on, you can take advantage of a recession. You can buy things on sale. I don't mean go to your nearest Target or Walmart or Home Depot and buy things on sale. I mean companies, I mean real estate. Because when recession hits, when the stock market goes down or the real estate market goes down, basically what that means is all of these companies now, all these stocks are on sale. You can buy more stock, you can buy more, whether it's index funds or real estate, you can buy them at a heavily discounted price, but make sure you do your homework. It's very important to know what it is that you're getting into. So this is why financial education is really, really important. So make sure that you read and you listen to different things. Make sure that you keep yourself informed, educated and well informed, so that when an opportunity comes, you can see that opportunity and you can take advantage of it. Warren Buffett has famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." In other words, when the market's booming, everybody's out there looking for more things to buy. It's a bit of a herd mentality. But instead, what we want to do is, when everybody's fearful, when everybody's trying to get out of the market, when the market's down, if you've done your homework, you want to buy those things at a heavily discounted price. That is how the rich get richer. And the fifth and final thing that you want to do is mindset. Do not panic. That is so important. Make sure you don't panic when recession starts to come in, when stock market starts to go down, when real estate starts to go down, or any of those things that happen, that generally happen in a recession. Make sure you don't panic, and have a plan, have a financial plan in advance. Having a plan and knowing that it's cyclical. Now, we know it's going to happen, we just don't know when it's going to happen. So just knowing that it's going to happen, knowing that the market is cyclical, that alone helps you understand that, okay, It's not the end of the world. Markets come down, markets go up. It's not a big deal, but you just have to be prepared. And the worst thing you can do is make rash decisions. For example, the moment the market tanks, you panic and you want to sell all your stocks. And you may have bought them at such a high amount and now you're selling them at pennies on the dollar. You end up with a big loss, only to see a couple of years later everything has gone back up and now you've missed out twice. We know the market's going to go down and then it's going to go up, but we forget when things are chaotic and when there's so much fear mongering on television, on the news, and you're watching that ticker go down and down and down. We forget that the market is cyclical. We've seen it so many times in our lifetime. And you remember the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009. It was called the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. And that was just in 2007 to 2009, not that long ago. And previous to that, we experienced the dot-com bubble. That was the 2001 recession. And previous to that, we saw it in 1990, 1991, which was the recession that happened around the Gulf War. So we've seen it so many times through the history, and we know the market is going to recover. The market always recover, but will you? That depends on two things: how prepared you are and how you react when it happens. And that is our video for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, as always, to let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions on the recession and how prepared do you think you are? Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.